And now we'll go on with essay 705, that is modifications to the opinion in the independent auditor's report. We'll go with the objectives of the auditor first. The objective of the auditor is to express an modified opinion. That is not a clean audit report. When auditor concludes that based on the audit evidence that was obtained, the financial statements as a whole are not free from material misstatements, or they're not able to fund sufficient appropriate audit evidence. This is when a disclaimer of opinion has to be given, and this is when a qualified opinion has to be given. And everybody knows this table, right? We'll just move on with further that. We'll just discuss that later. And first one is inability to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence by limitation of management. Even we have discussed in our keyword kit series and all time, right? What we have to do, what the auditor has to do. First, he has to ask the reasons for that limitations, and then he has to obtain they were reasonable or not, and if not, they have to communicate to any other higher authority in case it's management, right? So they have to go, if they have TCWG in that company, and determine to obtain the audit evidence through, if he finds reasonable to obtain that by audit evidence through alternative audit procedures, and if they were not reasonable, the auditor has to withdraw. When while withdrawing, what he has to do, he has to communicate to the TCWG or any other reporting regulatory authorities, etc. And that is with regards to limitation of management's limitation of by the management. And if the auditor is unable to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence, what he has to do, if the auditor concludes that the possible effects on the financial statements of undetected misstatements could be material but not pervasive. Pervasive means all the financials, all the matters in the financial statements. We'll just go with an a report here. You see, this is a report of Air India Limited. They have given a qualified opinion. In that, what they are saying, in our opinion, with the information and the explanation given to us, except for the possible effects of the matters described in some emphasis matter paragraph. That is, they were not pervasive. That is not all matters. They were have given some exceptions to few matters. Okay, and they have used the word the possible effects and all. Even here, the even in the standards of accounting, we also have the possible effects on the financial statement that were undetected and they were not pervasive. Not pervasive is communicated as an indirect thing, like except for some matters, para G, like now here para G of emphasis matter paragraph, like that. And if auditor concludes that the possible effects on the financial statements of undetected misstatements could be material and pervasive. Material and pervasive, then what he has to do? He has to form a adverse opinion. That's what in our table, right? Material and pervasive with regards to the matters in financial statement, which were misstatements, adverse opinion. And yes, misstatements in the financial statements, withdraw from the audit, or if withdrawal from the audit before issuing the audit report, it's not practicable, then give a disclaimer of the opinion on the financial statements. Okay, we'll see the adverse report and well as a disclaimer of opinion. Now, you see in this adverse opinion, what they have said. They have said that the matters that were discussed and therefore statements that did not give the information that was required by the act and all, and the financial statements do not give a true and fair view with regards to the accounting principles or Ind AS and all. That's how they have communicated. And with regards to disclaimer opinion, what they have communicated is that we do not express an opinion itself. That's what they have communicated because they have not able to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. Okay, this is how the matters were being communicated. These are all the phrases that we use. And with regards to the adverse opinion or disclaimer of opinion, when the auditor considers it's necessary to express an adverse opinion or disclaimer of opinion, when we use adverse opinion or disclaimer of opinion, when the matters were adverse as well as pervasive, there were not some possible effects except few matters like what we have in qualified opinion, like that para G in emphasis matter paragraph, right? Like that. Shall not also include an unmodified opinion with respect of the same FRF. That is, when he was giving an adverse opinion and a disclaimer of opinion, he should not give an unmodified opinion like a clean report and all. He has to give only one opinion on a single financial statement. Single financial statement, single opinion. To include such unmodified opinion in the same report in these circumstances that would contradict the auditor's adverse opinion or disclaimer of the opinion. When the auditor disclaims opinion, the audit report shall not include key audit matters. And when we have discussed in our audit matters paragraph while discussing that, right? Because both were exclusive things. Both were exclusive things. And when the auditor expects to modify the auditor's opinion, the auditor shall communicate to the TCWG, which also we have discussed it earlier. Even while giving as a key audit matters also, those matters also have to be communicated from the matters that were being communicated to TCWG. And while coming to this diagram, this was from an extract from ICI, a quick reference chart. With regards to any material misstatements, if they were material and not pervasive, they have to give a qualified opinion, like they have given here, right? Except for the paragraph, this matter paragraph and all, there were few exceptions. That is not all. There were few exceptions. So you have to give qualified opinion. If all, then an adverse opinion with regards to the misstatements. And inability to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence, material and pervasive. Disclaimer of opinion. If at all, like not getting any kind of information, you have to give disclaimer of opinion. If they have got some information with regards to that, but only for few things they haven't got, you have to give a qualified opinion. And that's it with regards to SA 705. The most key part of the thing is only this diagram.